Hey, the Minstrel here, and today I'm going to design some badass characters. So, for a long while now, I've been wanting to draw a pirate. And I read a book with pirates in it just last week. And so I decided that it was finally time to draw my pirates. But I also just wanted to draw some badass characters. So, yeah, I decided to do a trio of badass characters. And the first step was design. So I draw them facing us, and I basically decide what the clothes are like, and yep, what their overall look is. And the first character I drew is the pirate, because she is what inspired this whole video. I also wanted to draw an assassin, so that's the second character I am drawing. I try to make them look a bit different, proportions wise. Like, I want the assassin to be a bit shorter. And, well, I'm actually not very used to drawing characters side by side, or even several characters in one picture. So, yeah, that was a bit of work, I guess. Trying to get the proportions right to make them look like they're on the same plane, yet still different heights. And yeah, I'm starting with design, but afterwards I'm going to do a finished illustration with the three of them. Decided that the assassin would have pants and no skirts because it would be easier to move in, and shorter hair because once again it's more practical, and she's gonna have twin daggers strapped to her back while the pirate has a sword, I guess, or some sort of long sharp object attached to her hip. And I make sure that the three of them have purses to keep their coins because I don't want them to have actual bags. And the final character, that was the one I struggled with a bit. I didn't know what kind of badass character I wanted to add, and I absolutely wanted a trio. And in the end, I thought that I would add a witch. Well, basically, I'm drawing humans for once, although it's still a bit fantastical and stuff, but yeah. And I didn't want them to have magic powers or anything. So she's a witch, but not the actual kind, I guess. I mean, she's the kind of historical witch. Like, she's gonna have red hair, and she got tainted and they tried to burn her, so I'm gonna add some burnt marks on her. And so she basically decided that she was gonna get revenge. And she can bruise potions, but they're not magical, she just knows her way around plants. But since everyone thinks she's a witch, she's just decided that she was gonna, well, wear a witch hat and be the worst witch they've ever seen. I mean, the best, I guess. That's her backstory. Basically, I did come up with some for the other two characters. The pirate, for instance, I decided that she was a prostitute at first, and it just basically stripped her of her honor and pride, I guess. So she's no prude. And she's now become a pirate, and she just likes to dress well, so her enemies can't stop but stare at her while she kills them. She also have some scars on her shoulder when she was bitten by a shark, even though I have no idea what a shark bites look like. Anyway, I am just putting some basic colors for the characters so I can come back to this when I do the finished illustration and just pick the colors and yeah, put them on my picture. They basically the six major colors are represented. The pirate has red and green, the assassin purple and yellow, and the witch blue and orange. And well, I made sure to give them some complementary colors. That's what I do. And then some very dark gray, which is basically black. Now it was time to figure out how I was gonna put three characters in one picture. So the pirate, I guess, is the most outgoing one. So she's in front and basically leading them, I guess. The assassin is more subdued and just watching and analyzing everything and waiting for the right time to stab you. And I guess I don't have much of a backstory for her, but she's the youngest of the three, and she just saw some horrible things and said that she didn't really care for life anymore. So she's just standing there looking kind of bored, but still holding her knife ready to eviscerate you. And the witch is, well, I guess she doesn't give a care in the world, and yeah, she's just there and watching too, I guess. But she's also trying to charm you and to get you to drink her potions and kill you slowly with them. Yeah, they're all gonna kill you. And yeah, I wanted the assassin to be leaning on something, so I just put crates or sorts behind. And then I was just like, oh, I can make the witch sit on them. And now that I have the base bodies in place, I can start adding the clothes I designed beforehand and all the details on the face and hair. And I really like drawing corsets. I think that's my passion. And well, it was a big drawing, I guess, because I had to draw three characters even if I didn't do any background. So I did get a bit lazy at times. Like, it doesn't all make perfect sense, and at the very end, after I stopped recording, I just flipped the image, and it was just not good. And well, mostly the composition is not equal on both sides, so it doesn't look balanced. But it doesn't matter, I'm not gonna flip it again. So yep. I realized while I was drawing them here that they actually look younger than I anticipated. I wanted them to be kind of young adults, maybe in the early 20s, but I guess they're older teens. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't feel like drawing them again and trying to get them to look older, so maybe some other time when I'm drawing them I will try to make them look a bit older, especially if they have already seen a lot of horrors. They might look older than they actually are. So for the assassin, I really struggled drawing that hood. Like, I don't know how to draw a hood in 3/4 view, and I didn't have a reference because I am lazy and I don't find references when I'm drawing. So yeah, I just improvised as always. And well, the picture is kind of busy, so you don't really notice small mistakes, I hope. It took me about 4 hours, I think, to do the designs and then draw the finished picture. So yeah, that was a lot of work. I did get a break in the middle though, called my parents and stuff. but it was still tiring, especially since I don't draw as much as I used to. Well, I've already said that in my previous 2 videos, but I'm going to school now. I didn't for 2 years, and I'm still really exhausted in the evenings, and I just want to do other stuff too. So I've got to make choices. And I am a very lazy person, so I don't always want to get my tablet out and draw, especially since the desk is not very large. So my sketch is in place, and I can start on the line art. And well, I think at the beginning of this channel I was doing some very sketchy line art, like I wasn't putting much effort into it. But I think I'm getting better at it, and I'm kind of proud of my line art now. And well, I guess I do zoom in a lot more, so that might help. And as soon as I zoom out, the details go away. So I guess the secret of line art is just zooming in as much as you can. And I realized while drawing it that the picture was very pixelated, and I think I used a smaller canvas than what I usually do for some reason. I don't know. But that way I could see every pixel that was out of their place, I guess, and I could just erase them one by one, basically. I didn't put much effort into the lacing of the corsets. I could have, I should have. I didn't. And then the skirt was kind of a lot of work and not that much at the same time. I'm not sure it actually completely makes sense. I don't know if that's how it would look. But yeah, just fake it till it passes. Or fake it till you do it. I don't know. But I am faking it. I had no idea what I was doing. But my pirate is done. And I'm on to my assassin. She's got a scar coming down on her eyebrow and beneath her eye. I still don't really know where it comes from. But yeah, and she's got one on her neck. So I guess someone tried to cut her throat. And she survived, because she's badass. Her whole pose was very hard for me to draw, actually. And I had no idea how to draw the daggers on her back. I probably should find some references for that, especially if I want to draw them again. Okay, I just realized we're already 14 minutes in, and I haven't even finished line art. So yeah, this video is on the longer side, but I already feel like everything is sped up a lot. So I just guess I had a lot to show. 4 hours is a lot, I think. I really like how the witch's face turned out. And her body a little less, because I don't know how to draw people sitting in front view. At least not at that perspective. Although I had no idea what my perspective was. So I just improvised and hope that you wouldn't notice it too much. Really should have brought up a reference for those legs though. Should probably stop being so lazy. Although I am working on it. This is a pretty big picture. I mean, a lot of characters and stuff. And I didn't do much for the background, I admit. But I did put something at the very end, so it's not so bad. I decided for the colors that the pirate would probably spend a lot of time outdoor, so she'd have a pretty tan skin tone. Is that how you say it? I think so. And well, I just really wanted to have some deep red for her dress, black corset and pants, and brown leathers. And some silver for the belt loop thing on the belt, and her sword. And the assassin would, I wanted her to be very pale. For some reason, she probably got put in a cell, I think. Like she wasn't able to go outside much, and with her hood, the sun can't really get into contact with her face. Maybe. I'm not fully sure actually, but yeah. And her accent color is gold. I mean, it's yellow basically. And the witch is pretty pale because it fits her hair color, I guess. And I don't know why, but I felt like the witch hats being a pale blue, it's beautiful. Like it's nice, a pastel witch hat. That's a new obsession of mine. Oh yeah, I decided that the pirates would also be part siren. Because why not? So she's got some ethereal hair, I guess. And she's beautiful and kinda, well, as I said, she's making sure her opponents are too busy looking at her to fight back. Although she doesn't need it, she knows how to fight pretty well. So by that time I was pretty tired of drawing, and I didn't feel like doing all the blending with the gouache brush. So I used the blending tool and the textured blending tool, so it's all very textured. But it was alright, I liked the effect it gave, so yep. Blending tool it is. And I went around pretty fast. Just put some basic shadows, basic highlights. And I didn't bother doing some intricate light situation or anything. I know some artists use a multiply layer for the shadows and clip it over all their coloring layers, so they just pick one color for all the shading. But I like to go over every single part the drawing with individual shadow and highlights. So when I color, I add new layer for every color I add, and then I go over all these layers, pick the color of that layer, and well, pick a darker shade for the shadows and a lighter shade for the highlights, and sometimes I pick several shadow colors and several highlights color. And yeah, I just added some burnt marks on the witch. And while I did it, I realized that it kind of looked like blood. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's not blood, it's scars. And she's covered in them. And I didn't want to give them any pupils, I guess, in their eyes, because, well, I want them to look kind of dead inside, because they are. They were robbed of their they were robbed of their innocence. And I am done. I'm just adding some finishing highlights everywhere, literally everywhere, because I like it. And didn't know if you saw, but I added some little birdies in the sky. That was fun. And some shadows in the corners. Yep. So this is my design, my first design, and the finished illustration of my 3 badass characters. I don't have names for them yet, so if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. So yeah, if you want to see me do more designs, say so in the comments. Thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video.